He's making a list, checking it twice.
Hello, Fentress. How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? All right, tonight we are joined by Papoose and Remy Ma, and so if you are fans of Love and Hip Hop, they are here, and I just want to tell you guys I appreciate you taking the time out to speak with me today. I had a lot of viewers want to chime in on this interview, but the first question I have, of course, is going to be for Papoose. I was just wondering, do you plan on adding any more artists to the label as far as producing any more acts other than Remy Ma?
Yes, I've actually added 2 new artists who are actually our children, and they have some great, amazing music, so I think people should look forward to that. And I have some other artists, some singers, not just hip-hop. I have some people who are very talented as far as singing, so I have a lot to offer. Y'all should look forward to that.
All right, and that was actually leading into my next question. You said you had some children. The next question basically is for both of you. You know, how do you feel about your children following in your footsteps, obviously getting to grow up, watching you kill the game? You know, how do you feel about that? What is your advice to them if they want to, follow in your path?
Well, there's some big shoes to fill as far as my wife. She's a very huge artist.
Oh, please.
So their work is cut out for them. But like I said, they're very talented. And my advice would just to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Stay consistent and follow your dreams, because they've been around it since birth.
I mean, I personally would like them to, go on to be things like, I don't know, lawyers and doctors, stuff that parents usually want their kids to do. But if, in fact, they really want to do this music thing like they try to express to me that they want to do, I'm going to definitely support them 150% and do anything in my power, to guide them down the right path. But, I think any parent, wants the best for their children. So whatever is the best route that they should take, that's what I'm going to root for.
Okay. And obviously, though, during the show, how do you feel right now about the state of hip-hop as it is now compared to how it was when you both first came in the game?
I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I believe that everything has to change. There's different, evolutions that happen with music as with any genre. And sometimes you have people that are stuck in their ways, like, oh, I liked it better when, it was the 90s, or I liked it better when it first started in the 80s. So, everyone's going to have their favorites. But I personally think that everything changes with time. And there's a lot of great artists that are putting out great music. And sometimes you just have to look for what you want and stop complaining.
Well, I think something's just going to change. It's change for the better, and it should evolve, not decline. I think that the majority of the music out there is definitely very horrible. The majority. You do have a few artists here and there in small pockets who are talented, but I mean, just my opinion, back in the day, it was based on talent, and I don't think it's based on that anymore. Once the business side kicks in, I get it, everybody has to make money, so that plays a part also. But I would love it if, some of the, the new generation take their time. It sounds like they're rushing. It sounds like a lot of them rushing.
And that's actually a fan question. A lot of people seem to think the same thing as far as a lot of the radio play songs. The mainstream artists just seems to be a lot of the same as far as trap music and everything like that. So people really want to get back to the lyrics. And I'm actually a big fan of it as far as being a lyrical genius. My favorite one is when you did the freestyle, you took the alphabet, every single letter just went on. Yes, that's mine. And so the fan question actually is, what advice would you have to people who want to get in the industry, and it's just based off raw talent instead of, as far as having just necessarily the money to get there? What is your advice? Because it seems like everything people get discovered online.
My advice would be to be yourself. A lot of times, the problem with, with what you hear on mainstream radio and why it may seem the way it is so diluted, because everyone is trying to be like someone else.
Right.
People tend to see someone achieve success with, a certain sound or look or whatever, they did to achieve that. And instead of, creating their own lane, they try to copy that in hopes that they would receive the same success. So I would say, one, be yourself, and two, just stay consistent. Don't give up. I give examples to my kids when I'm talking to them. If you don't even have to know how to play basketball, if you're standing on the 3-point line and you throw the ball enough times, eventually, probability is going to say it's going to go in. So, if you don't give up, you just keep trying. You keep trying. Eventually, you'll get success. I don't know, the depths of that, or how far you get, but you're gonna hit something if you keep. A lot of times people try, and this is not a business where it's easy to to make it and to be successful. And people get discouraged. So that would be my advice: be original and don't give up.
Right. I mean, I think that it all depends on what influenced you to hip hop. I think when I was influenced to the game, I was influenced by the talent. I was amazed by the great artists, and they inspired me to want to be great. I think that some of these guys are just getting in
for the money,
for the wrong reasons, and that's why you don't hear no content and things of that nature. And it was just to show ability. Like, you had to make sure you did your homework, and you came correct when you came into what we call the cipher, and we shared our thoughts. You couldn't come in there and just say anything. You couldn't come in there and start snapping your fingers and dancing. You get laughed off the block, you know what I mean?
Right.
We had breakdancing, don't get it twisted, but them guys were talented. Like, they looked like gymnastics, like they were into gymnastics, some of the tricks they were doing. Even the graffiti, all this is a part of the culture. And each one of those different things I just gave you, you had to be dope at it. You couldn't just come with anything. And to me, that's what hip hop is about. So that's why, I'll be disappointed when I hear talentless artists, because it's really not about that. And to answer your question, I think what they need to do is really take their time and perfect their craft. Everybody can't be a rapper. Some people gotta be a fireman, a cab driver, just different things you can be.
But as far as what you're looking for, as an artist, you're looking for more of the content.
I wouldn't buy it.
What happens, what I think happens nowadays, the thing that upsets me, what I would say, is when people think that it's easy to do what we do. People, they get a lane of where, any type of theme where people are paying attention to them or looking at them, and they're like, what, I'm going to be a rapper. Like, they wake up one day and decide that this is what they're going to do. And I assume it's because they think it's easy. This is something that, I know I've been doing since I was a kid, before I was a teenager. And my husband, the same thing. Like, I know he's been telling me since he was 6, 7 years old that this is something that he aspired to do. So what upsets me is when I wake up and I see somebody that thinks that, okay, well, people pay attention. You know what? I'm going to put out some music. I'm going to be a rapper. And it's like, do you know what this really entails? Do you even take it seriously? Do you even have an idea of what I've been through on my road to be where I'm at right now? So I think that is something that I've seen throughout the years, and more so recently, with everyone feeling like, oh, I could be a rapper. It's an easy thing to do. I mean, you could be a corny rapper, but the really dope ones, like the Jay-Z's, the Eminems, the Jadakiss, the people that I think are dope, when you meet them, they're very intelligent, and they have been working on their craft and perfecting it for years.
That leads me to my last question. Obviously, like you said, you two have both been in the game for a while and at it for years. What's that special, having that love together? How do you, how does it feel keeping your love together in the midst of doing what you love to do? What can we expect from you two in the future? You're together, everything's going well, you just had your dream wedding, and I have to throw this question in. I know y'all are probably not wanting to hear this question, but fans wanted me to ask.
When am I giving Papoose a baby?
Yes.
Great question.
How did I guess?
That was the second question. To answer your question, what you can expect moving forward is elevation. Just keep growing, because I feel like in a relationship, the longer you guys can stay focused on doing the right thing by each other, the more you grow together. And those different levels of growth are amazing when you're on the same page with somebody like that, but it takes time. So you can expect more elevation and just more seeing black love. And then as far as the baby,
I'm just gonna get it over with, because I'm tired of hearing
Yeah,
about
this type of talk, get it over
between
with.
him and all you crazy fans out there that's like, you promised and you. I'm just gonna get, and when I give him this beautiful bundle of joy, I want y'all to see how he's gonna be back on my back immediately for another one, because he already expressed to me how many gazillion
I'm gonna
children
be so
he wants.
occupied
So I want
with
you
that
guys to
one.
know
And so
that this
busy.
is Pandora's box.
The only
Once
thing
I
I'm not
open
gonna
it,
do for
I
my
hope
child
you
is
guys
breastfeed. I'm gonna do
help me
everything else.
close it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
I'll take full
It's gonna happen,
responsibility of the bundle of joy.
Okay.
Well, thank y'all. I wasn't trying to start anything. I just had to ask. Fans want to know, and I personally want to know too. So I appreciate you letting me know. But
People feel like you promised them. You don't see that?
Oh my gosh. Thank
She didn't
you,
just
Ken.
promise
Thank
me,
you.
she promised y'all,
This is- I'm
right?
gonna have to hear about this for the rest of the day.
Somebody said that
Thanks.
to me.
Wonderful. Thanks.
thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Great question.
Thank you, Remy. In fact, thank you.
Right.
I appreciate both of y'all.
All right. Take care,
All right.
man.